I was struck by the book that talks about the 12 steps to a compassionate life. In step 1, and the definition of compassion is to endure something with another person, to put ourselves in somebody else's shoes, to feel her pain as if it were our own, and to enter genuinely into his point of view. I was very fortunate in my life to I come from the Catholic tradition. I was in the seminary. I studied under the Benedictines for 4 years. And when I finished, I took a sabbatical year, and part of that time I spent with my sister in Mexico. She was a school sister at Notre Dame. She worked in base communities in some of the poorest areas of the country. And so I spent about 3 or 4 months with the sisters just trying to stay out of the way. But learning the whole concept of acompañar, to accompany, and to walk with someone in the process, which in my tradition and my feeling and around my tradition spoke to much of liberation theology, which speaks to me. But it's really what I learned from that process, and as I thought of this definition, I choose tonight to really speak to where I see the role of compassion in my day-to-day life and in where I work at Haven for Hope as the new leader for the organization. When I think about the definition, I think about this idea of acompañar, and I think about my experience while I was in Mexico and I was walking with people who were only poor in material items and extremely rich in spirit. It's meeting people where they are, and at Haven it's being ready when they're ready. From a systemic approach, it's using what we call a recovery-oriented system of care. And when you think of concepts of readiness, and you think of concepts of meeting people where they are, we use terms like person-centered planning, trying to identify what someone's goals are, remembering from a compassionate view that homelessness is a state, it's not a trait. And people have goals and dreams and aspirations for their lives. And understanding how and why they ended where they ended. I invite you to visit us. I invite you all to become soul friends through our spiritual services work on campus, and to enter into deep listening. I have taken the invitation, and I'm humbled by the stories that people have shared with me, and the deep listening and trying to accompany and walk with them through this process. But the compassion that's really required daily, the compassion that is shown to me by members on our campus for who I am and what I bring, the compassion that our members bring to us as staff, to the community that surrounds us, continues to elevate my understanding of people that experience homelessness on a day-to-day basis. We recently went through a process at Haven that identified what I think are the drivers for us in our work, and they're all values. I believe, and I think we believe in our organization, that that values create strategy, and that creates our work and guides what we do. And when I was reviewing our values before I came tonight, I looked at the very first one, and this was hard work for us organizationally to go through and really try to get to the essence of why we exist and why we do the work that we do every day, walking with people that are experiencing homelessness and are trying to move from an incomplete state to a complete state. I was really struck by that this evening. And the first value that we have is radical compassion. that we show love to everyone in how we speak, how we see, and how we serve. That we are servant leaders, that we model our mission by putting others first, that we are driven by hope, that we act as pioneers and embrace innovation, and that we are in pursuit of excellence to seek the very best in our work, in our relationships. I go back to number one, and I go back to what we strive to do every day on campus in showing love to everyone in how we speak, how we see, and how we serve. And how are we creating a system of compassion to be ready when people are ready? We recently have embraced this concept of recovery-oriented systems of care across the whole campus. It's been interesting to me from a compassionate view how we have learned and changed and tried to adapt as we started. Patty, Rod, others, Patty in particular was there when we started. I think we had preconceived ideas of how transformation works, and they were all wrong. And I think what we've learned by being open to learning is that people will let you know what they need if you listen with a compassionate heart, if you show love to them in how you speak and how you view them and how you serve them. That we must be servant leaders in our work. We must live compassionately towards each other, as staff members, as volunteers with each other, across our whole system of care that we provide on campus, to our partners that are integral in the work that we do. So it's interesting to me as I thought about this evening and as I reflected on this evening, how the compassion that we try to show and live every day is equally shared with us by our members. In the stories that they tell us, in the compassion that they provide us, in the patience they show us, as we have to realize that they know more than we do in terms of what they want to achieve with their lives. And that compassion spills over outside of what we do at Haven for Hope into community. I believe, Patty, when she says that we're interconnected, because we are. And I know in our work at Haven for Hope and the work that we do with our members that are there, it only is beginning when they're on campus. That's only the beginning. The interconnectedness that they have, the way that we approach our spiritual services, our desire to connect them to spiritual homes and faith communities in the community, and our ability to work with people in the communities, partners, etc., to continue to walk with people as they continue this process of transformation. What does that mean for them? It changes, it's dynamic, it's living, it's growing. So our ability to work in an aligned fashion together with a spirit of compassion in the work that we do is essential. So my final words are, I think we are, as a system that is trying to approach this work in a compassionate way, is that we're learning is every day that our work will always evolve, and that our ability to stay connected with our members and what their desires for life are is a way for us to stay connected to a compassionate life.